I ran through the narrow path at the edge of the village, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. The elders had warned me, every single person had. Do not go near her, they said. Anyone who touches her will never wake the same. But I was desperate. I needed money. My mother was sick, and our hut had nothing but cracks and dust. And I had heard the story that every man who sleeps with her wakes up rich, rich beyond imagination. I stopped a few meters from her hut and caught my breath. The moonlight barely touched the walls, but I could see her. She was standing by the doorway, calm, silent, like she was expecting me. I swallowed hard. My legs shook. My friends in the village had called me crazy, but what choice did I have? I had debts, I had hunger, and I had dreams. I stepped closer, trying to sound confident, but my voice cracked. Are you the one they call, the girl who makes men rich? I whispered. She tilted her head slightly, her eyes glinting in the moonlight. They say many things, she replied softly. Her voice was calm, almost hypnotic. But not all who seek wealth are ready for it. I laughed nervously. I'm ready. I need to save my mother. I need the money. Please. She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me, like she could see every fear and desire hidden deep in my heart. And then, she smiled. Not cruelly, not teasingly, just a smile that made my knees weak. You will wake rich, she said finally, but some prices are heavier than gold. I nodded eagerly. I don't care. I'll pay anything. The tension was unbearable. I could hear the wind rustling the dry leaves around us, the distant howls of hyenas, and my own heartbeat hammering in my chest. If you're already on the edge of your seat, hit the like button now, it's about to get even crazier. I stepped inside her hut. It was small, dimly lit by a single lantern. The air smelled faintly of incense and something sweet I couldn't identify. I swallowed my fear, tried to steady my trembling hands. So, it's true then? I asked. Every man who sleeps with you gets rich? She nodded slowly. Yes. But remember, wealth comes at a cost. Are you sure you're ready? I took a deep breath. I am. I have no other choice. She studied me for a moment, and then she said something I'll never forget. Close your eyes and follow me. Do not think of anything else. Not fear. Not guilt. Not doubt. I obeyed, and the hut seemed to grow taller, darker, and alive. Shadows moved on the walls. A faint whisper echoed around me, almost like dozens of voices calling my name. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. My feet were glued to the floor. Are you afraid? She asked softly. I swallowed hard. Yes, but I need this. I have no choice. She stepped closer. Good. Fear sharpens the mind. And you will need every bit of focus. Then she reached out and touched my shoulder. A chill ran through me so deep I felt my bones freeze. And in that instant, I heard the faintest sound, like coins dropping in an empty hall. I opened my eyes, but I was still in her hut. Nothing had changed. Patience, she whispered. The night is long, and the dawn decides all. Pause for a second here. If you were in my place, would you risk it all for instant wealth? Comment below, I want to know. I sat on the floor, trying to calm my shaking hands. I thought of my mother. I thought of the village. I thought of everything I had lost. And then, the first sign appeared. A faint glow began in the corner of the hut, like golden dust floating in the air. My eyes widened. I had seen gold before, but this was something else. It shimmered, swirled, and then landed around me, forming piles of coins, jewels, and tiny ingots. I tried to take a step forward, but the villagers stepped back as if I had grown some terrible aura overnight. Their eyes were wide, some filled with envy, others with fear. He really did it, one muttered. He slept with her. I clutched the satchel tighter. The weight of the gold was nothing compared to the weight of their stares. Don't look at me like that, I shouted, but my voice sounded small against the morning sun. I wanted to laugh, to cry, to scream. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. A voice whispered in my mind, almost as if the girl was still there. Every gift has its price. I shook my head, trying to ignore it. I wanted to run home, show my mother, buy her medicine, and then maybe forget the warnings. But as I turned toward the path home, I saw him, my old friend, Musa, running toward me, eyes wild. You're rich, he shouted, almost breathless. I knew it. I knew someone would try it. I swallowed. Don't touch me, I said, feeling the gold burning through my satchel like it had a mind of its own. He laughed nervously. I need some advice, please. I shook my head, panic rising. I don't know how. I barely understand it myself. You don't know the risk. Risk? Musa scoffed. Man, I would risk anything for that. I've been poor my whole life. I stared at him, thinking of the girl's words, of the chill that had run through my bones, of the whispering shadows. It's not just wealth, I said slowly, my voice trembling. It changes everything. It comes with consequences you can't see yet. Musa frowned. Consequences? What are you talking about? Before I could answer, a commotion erupted at the village square. People were shouting, running toward the chief's house. I ran closer, curiosity and fear gnawing at me. And then I saw it, the chief's son, who had mocked me, who had called me a fool for even thinking the girl's legend was real. He had fallen ill, clutching his chest, writhing in agony. Her words lingered in my mind like a bell ringing through a dark hall. I nodded, though my heart was still racing. I stood up, satchel in hand, and took a deep breath. I'll be careful, I said softly, more to myself than to her. Good, she whispered, smiling faintly. Then, as silently as she had appeared, she vanished into the shadows. The next morning, I returned home. My mother's eyes widened when she saw the satchel, and I dropped it at her feet. She gasped, hands shaking. Is this real? I nodded, voice catching. Yes, Mema, but there's more to it than gold. You must understand. Before I could continue, she hugged me tightly, tears streaming down her face. God bless you, my son. God bless you. That night, I couldn't sleep. The satchel sat beside me, heavy and glowing faintly in the moonlight. I wondered about the other men, those who had sought the girl before me. Had they used the wealth wisely, or had it destroyed them? The next day, I went back to the village square. People whispered my name, some bowed, others avoided my gaze. Musa approached, hands outstretched. Please, teach me, he begged. I shook my head, feeling a strange calm settle over me. No, I said firmly. Some things are not for everyone. Some blessings demand responsibility, patience, and courage. You are not ready. He looked at me with a mixture of envy and fear, and I realized just how true her words were. Wealth could elevate a man, but it could also isolate him. Days turned into weeks. I helped my mother, improved our hut, and slowly started using the gold to help others, but always carefully, always mindful of the warning. Every night, I prayed. I prayed for guidance, for wisdom, for protection from the greed that could destroy me. And then one evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, I felt a presence behind me. I turned, and she was there again, the girl from the edge of the village, smiling softly. You have done well, she said. Not all men would use this gift wisely. Remember, the world watches those who awaken with sudden wealth. And every choice will echo, louder than you think. I nodded, understanding now. The gold was a blessing, yes, but also a responsibility, a test, a mirror for my own soul. She stepped back, fading into the twilight. I whispered softly, more to myself than to her, thank you, for the gift, and the lesson. And as I walked home, I realized that I had changed not just because of the gold, but because I had faced temptation, fear, and the weight of choice. Some men would see only the wealth. I saw the cost, and the path ahead. If you're still with me, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment below. Would you risk it all for wealth beyond imagination? Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next in these kinds of stories. Because sometimes, the real riches aren't in gold. They're in courage, wisdom, and the choices we make when the world tests us in ways we never expected. And if you think this story was intense, Share it with a friend. Let them wonder what they would do if suddenly wealth appeared overnight, but only for the brave and the cautious.